I stopped running Facebook ads like this and now I'm profitable. So this video is going to be all about the story of how an 8-figure company consulted me to figure out why their Facebook ads weren't profitable and they weren't getting results that they wanted. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you right now. So I just renamed all these different ad and ad set names and the campaign name just to hide the identity of this very large marketing agency that was running the ads for this company. And it really just kind of blew my mind when I saw this. You think of a very large marketing agency, you think, they're the biggest, they're the best. They should be able to yield some very good results, especially for a brand like this that has high quality products. The price points are very fair and the values are there. This is a legit product. I think what happens is these agencies, when they get to a certain level, are just very corporate, and people are making decisions based off what they're told to do, not based off of Facebook ad experience itself. So we're going to be diving into this campaign, auditing it, one of these campaigns the marketing agency was running, and then how to actually turn this around. And I think the fundamental first thing to understand as an advertiser on Facebook is these 3 different layers of your audiences that combine to create your end result that you want. I've been posting reels on my Instagram every single day, and one of the ones I posted a couple days ago was imagine you've never heard of the brand Louis Vuitton, never, and you get an ad on your Instagram, your Facebook from them that says, hey, this is your chance to get our entire luggage set for 50% off with free shipping. Just click the button below and get yours now. Instantly, they're devaluing their offer, their product, their brand, and you're going to find that offer unattractive. You're not going to buy that. You see that? You're like, they're offering me a discount. Like, you're not going to see it as what you may think of as Louis Vuitton right now, as luxurious and fancy, expensive, whatever comes to mind. That's not what you would think. And I think that's where many new advertisers to Facebook, make the mistakes where, they're instantly just trying to push out these major incentives to people that have never even heard of them. So I want to give you a real life example, even relating to right now in this YouTube video, that also relates to how you run your ads on Facebook, which are these 3 different layers right here, being 1, you're cold, 2, warm, and 3, hot. So cold is going to be, for example, if you're watching this video right now, and this is your first time ever watching a video of mine or seeing my face, I would consider you a cold audience. Step 2 being warm. Warm is going to be someone, maybe you've seen a few of my videos before, you've seen my face, you've seen me on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, then, I would consider you a warm audience. And 3 is going to be my hot audience, people that have subscribed, they like every video, watch every video, leave comments, and maybe have even bought something from me. Great. That's my hot audience. That's my most valuable audience. And the same exact principles apply to anything you're trying to sell through your Facebook ads. So I want to give you, a quick breakdown through this campaign that they were doing prospecting for and what I saw wrong in the Facebook ads and what we did to turn this around, because this is for prospecting. This is for cold traffic, people that have never ever seen this brand or the ads before. And, first thing I noticed just breaking down this campaign structure itself, is it's a CBO, okay? I don't mind CBOs, I would say, for testing purposes, with creatives and such and getting things off the ground. I don't prefer it because the budget is so dispersed. If you have a $50 a day budget on a CBO and 5 ad sets, it's not going to spend $10 a day across each ad set. It's going to spend how it wants to spend. And that's okay, because Facebook and CBO campaigns work very well together with options. They don't like to be narrowed down and strict. So I like to use ad set level budgets to test and then CBO campaigns to actually scale. But when we look into this, the budget, whatever, I can't say anything about it because I don't know their reasoning behind it. But when we get into more of the nitty-gritty details of the actual campaign, structure and setup inside everything else, we see automatically here 6 ad sets. And just as I'm kind of doing this audit in my head and as we go through this together, first thing that comes to mind in the ad set level is too many. I prefer to keep, 2 to 4 ad sets within a CBO at all times. If I want to use different audiences, I'll end up just combining them into one ad set instead of having Facebook have to navigate through multiple different ad sets themselves. And a little bit's kind of just like personal opinion and feelings that I believe, but at the same time, there's some logic behind it because that's what's worked for me time over time after spending millions of dollars in ad spend across my own money and clients. I've been able to experience and learn a lot of things that, you can't learn without actually doing the work itself. Their naming here is a little bit strange, but to make sure we're on the same page and running through this together, this is where it gets a little silly to me. Things just seem so out of line. We see these are cold audiences right here technically. A lookalike is essentially an audience just that should, in theory, have similar attributes to people of whatever you're making that lookalike off of. So this is a customer email list off of people that have a $100 average order value or higher, and 6% United States, California. Again, I don't know the reasonings behind their numbers. For me, I love to do value-based lookalikes, and for most any lookalikes that I'm running, I'm, for the most part, just doing 10%. Because again, in broad, larger audiences, Facebook is favoring it right now into 2020-22. I think I just said that, a repeat. But we get to excluding right here. This is where it gets even more silly. We've been saying Facebook likes options, especially in CBOs, and now we're instantly seeing they're just narrowing down this audience as much as possible with all these different lists they're excluding. From the lookalikes to actual purchaser custom audiences, it just doesn't make sense to me, and even to you. I'm sure this is a little bit confusing to look at, and it's just a bit strange. The things that do make sense are, automatic placements, great, unless you're only running ads, let's say for Instagram, then you would select that. Detailed targeting expansion, great, even though there's no detailed targeting there since they have the custom audiences, that's inapplicable. No age breakdown, great, no gender breakdown, great, and then their locations, fine, US and Canada. It's just the custom audience section that throws me off a bit. And then we get to the ad creative level itself, it gets even more funky. And I'm not going to drag out this part much longer because I want to focus on the right things to do, but still giving you my thought process on why this kind of seems just like throwing poop on the wall and hoping for something to stick is because look at how many ad creatives they have under this one ad set. This is 10 different creatives under one ad set. So I want you to really think about this. If you have a campaign that's spending $70 a day and 5 ad sets, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but then under each ad set, you have 10 different creatives. I don't even know if these are all the same page post IDs or if these are completely different tests or what the actual objective here was. But, think about how dispersed that budget is being spent every single day. If we look over here at the cost per result and the return on ad spend, let's say we sort it by return on ad spend. Great. There's an ad creative here with a 3.01 ROAS with 2 purchases. That looks good, just looking at it right here from afar, but, we come down to the average and we still see that 0.3, and you're like, why is this happening? And the reality of this campaign and why ultimately it was a failure and why I would never run ads like this is because of how much the budget is spread out. You're in no way going to be able to see any type of consistent results with this type of budget with this many different options where Facebook has to allocate that money. It's just stupid. And the funny situation is that once I did this audit and pretty much just told the company exactly what I've told you so far, but in shorter terms, I was like, hey, place a bet on me. I will do whatever to show you that what they're doing is so ignorant that I can guarantee you I will outperform it. And it was more just to give clarity to this company that didn't have a ton of experience with, they're somewhat new to e-commerce and, the online. They do very well in wholesaling and such, and their investors and the owners are getting more into the e-commerce side. It's a lot to learn and adjust to, especially never ever doing it or seeing it before. So I pretty much told them, hey, I know for a fact I can outperform this, and I want to show you that, this stuff can work for you. You have a badass brand, great products, and, value to provide to the people in this niche. So now let's create our own campaign on what it takes for successful prospecting in the setup now in 2022 and what's important. So I'm going to walk you through this, but to give you a heads up as well, my Facebook ads course, first ever, is actually launching for VIP members this upcoming Sunday, February 27th. So by the time you're seeing this, if it's within the first couple days, you're still able to get on that VIP list now to get early access. If it's past February 27th, then the course is hopefully still available. There'll probably be a link in the description to check it out. But aside the fact, I wouldn't use a campaign budget optimization for prospecting off the bat unless I had existing profitable creatives from other campaigns, which may be the case for you as an existing advertiser watching this video right now. But let's say we're just doing exactly what that agency intended to do, but in a successful manner. We're going to start it off from the groundwork of a conversions campaign, keeping it simple. Like I just said, no need for the campaign budget right now because I want to be able to control where my budget is actually going itself. So let me just go ahead real quick here, select the pixel in my events. I'm pretty much always optimizing for purchases in my campaigns. This is very beginner level stuff in my opinion, but I really have never optimized for other events except for like leads and stuff for different types of offers. But for e-commerce like this specifically, always purchase because that's what's going to bring me the most quality attention around what my eventual goal is, which hopefully we're on the same page, is just making more profit and more sales for the business that you're running ads for. Now, daily budget, this depends on you. I prefer to base my budget off of margin. So, let's say we're prospecting this campaign right now for, let's say it is, cold for whatever, dog jacket, we're targeting the USA. Let's say our margin on that dog jacket is $30. Then what I'm probably going to do is probably a $10 a day budget for an ad set. So that way, we have some time to let this ad set optimize. If I have a $30 margin for this product, I don't want to spend more than $30 without getting a sale. Unless maybe if this company told me, hey, you can spend double the margin for a sale. We're just trying to get some revenue in and get some data to make some adjustments. Then cool, you can consider that your margin. But for me in this scenario, I want to be able to have the budget spend over a couple days without hitting that break-even point. So in this case, spending $10 a day gives me 3 full days of spend before it hits that break-even point, and I can make the decision of what I want to do next. And in the ad set level itself, for prospecting can be either both interests or lookalikes themselves. I always prefer to, do a no interest ad set for any offer I'm doing, whether it's, for a dog product like this or, for like a nail salon. It doesn't matter. I've never ran ads for a nail salon, but I'd probably do a no interest ad set as well, which is exactly what I'm doing here. So we're doing no breakdowns whatsoever. We're doing no interest, and we're targeting the United States, just keeping it simple. And no interest is just something I've seen a lot of success with, surprisingly, and it's something I never even thought to do. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if you told me to do that, I'd probably try. But be like, I wouldn't give it a fair chance. I'll say that. And now when we get to the actual ad set level, before we make a couple more ad sets here quickly, what you're going to want to do is, I prefer to do 2 different types of creatives. And basically the reasoning behind it is to give a little bit of a split test option. You're spending $10 a day towards the ad set no matter what. And here you're just going to give Facebook a couple of options to make the decision of where they want to go. Now, if you're in a phase where you're really trying to split test, a certain headline or a certain copy, for a specific ad creative, then that's when you would, decide to duplicate this ad set and, have each one just only that one ad creative under each and just make the small changes and take note of them. So that way, the entire $10 a day budget is only being allocated to that specific, ad creative itself, and you can give a fair split test. So, for this example, I'm just going to put in, an existing page post idea just pulled off here out of the top of the, the page post, just as an example. So really the purpose is, let's say this is dog jacket, cold, add 1. And the real purpose here, and when I'm doing a prospecting campaign like this, is to just display the offer for whatever I'm running the ad for in just 2 completely different ways. Because maybe one ad just doesn't catch attention like you may expect it to, and it's not fair to the product and the offer itself to not give it more options to try and catch the attention of people and get them to follow the objectives that you want. So obviously these don't really align, and this may not make visual sense to you as far as those creatives, which are not supposed to. They're just examples, but you can see that we have 2 different ads under that ad set there. And this process is very, very simple as far as the creation of a prospect campaign. Throughout here, just doing better than what that agency had done is now going through here and taking those lookalikes. Let's say we search for a 10% lookalike, whatever it may be, and we can go ahead and just say, all right, we're doing this 10% ad payment information as an example, and that's the targeting. We're not excluding everything else because this is prospecting. This is just getting eyes to our product for the first time for people. We're not retargeting them and giving them some type of incentive and making a super fancy audience stack. This is purely prospecting and getting people to make some initial interest and engagement with our brand. So now in this case, we have the 2 creatives again, and this is the campaign where I launch it. I see what's working, what's not, and let's say this ad set, for example, spends $20, but there's no sale. You need to make your own decisions and know what your own rules are. Important metrics that people often don't look at, in that case, if there's no sales, is, look for some indicators. Look at how is the CPM, the click-through rate, the cost per click, is there any added carts, checkouts initiated, and compare those numbers to maybe some existing profitable other ad sets you have, or, just use those KPIs to make decisions on whether you want to continue or not. Everybody has their own rules and what they're comfortable spending to start making some sales and becoming profitable. But for my case, if it spent $20 with no sales, I'm just going to let it keep running. I'm going to see what happens after it spends more money. I'm typically going over the break-even point because I play this game a little bit riskier, and overall that gives me more wins than losses, and that's how I've been able to continue to grow, evolve, and get these crazy awesome experiences to be able to make this product like I'm working on right now, right in front of me. My first ever Facebook ads course, showing the process of $0 to $1 million with Facebook ads, and it's a repeatable process. So now, outside of this, it's pretty simple. The decision making afterwards is another video in itself, but if this is break even, I'm probably going to risk it for the biscuit and just double that budget and continue to raise that by 20 to 30% or so, every other day until I see it hit kind of just a wall where it's not wanting to continue to stay profitable. And then I'll discover other ways, in my horizontal, vertical scaling, CBOs, etc., to give it that audience or those creatives more chance. So hopefully this all makes sense to you and you found value in this and have a little bit more of an edge against all the other advertisers out there as you move forward in your own journey for your e-commerce offer. So that's what I have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.